Well, hello there. Thanks for stopping by. My name is John Rook and I live in Columbus, Indiana. I used to be a software developer and I worked for a Fortune 100 company for about 25 years. And I am since retired, but I have written an online web application that helps with, I call it paycheck forecasting. Something I did from the point where I was like 19 years old and I was out on my own. I was constantly trying to determine, did I have enough money to pay electric, phone, gas, car payment, etc., and still have money left to buy groceries. And I did it manually all different ways, but this is probably the easiest way that you will find to do this. And it's very, very automated, very little entry. You put things in once and then it pretty much takes care of the rest. So without going into much other nonsensical detail, I'm going to dive right into it and show you what it's about. So we are now at the main menu. I'm not going to cover registering and logging in. If you haven't done that yet, just look for the video called Registration or Registering and Login. It's a quick one that'll help you through that. But so at this point, I want to show you how easy it is to just get up and running and to see the value in this. So first thing we're going to do is go to the budgeting menu, and then we have to go in and edit user account. Anybody that wants to use this forecasting has to go in here and first establish what your income is. In other words, when do you get paid, how often do you get paid, and how much do you get paid. Payment frequency. Let's just assume this person we're putting in now is going to get paid every 2 weeks. Let's say that they make $1,200 every paycheck and that they have $1,825 in the bank, and the date that they receive their next paycheck is April the 10th. We don't need to worry about the notification flag and the addresses and so forth. The basic things you need in are how often you paid, how much are you paid, when are you paid. So we're going to click Update User. That covers the income side. See how easy that was? So now we're going to go into Biller's Maintenance. I have taken the liberty here of adding a few billers for this individual. We've got rent that he pays, $900 a month, due on April 1st. We've got renter's insurance due April 10th. He has a truck through GMAC Finance, $650 a month, April 15th. He pays sewer, he pays insurance on his truck, he pays for satellite TV, he pays for food because he does not know how to cook. This person gets HelloFresh and he pays $100 a week. I want to show you something here. When we edit one of these billers, you have the name of the biller, the date that the bill is next due, how much you pay them, and then this is the frequency. These two fields work together. Frequency is 1, and he's paid weekly. In other words, you pay this HelloFresh every week. If you paid it every month, you click monthly, every 1 month. Or if, like in the case of my trash collector, I pay them every 3 months, so I would put 3 and then click the monthly. Hope that makes sense. So that was just a note on how the stuff works in the billers. So we've got the basic bills added for this guy. After you know all of that's in, what we're going to do is just click on Generate Forecast and watch the magic unfold. So in any forecast, this top section is like a header. You've got some navigation buttons. There's a place where you can update your cash, and then there's this thing called Roll Forward that we'll cover in a minute. So this top section is the section that you're going to work out of. We call it the active posting section. So in here, think of this kind of like your checkbook register. If you opened your checkbook register right now, you'd look in there and you'd see how much money you think you have in there. Right now, this guy has $1,825 in here. We call that cash on hand. He has his rent that's due on April 1st also. And that is the last thing that it shows owing in this current section. If we scroll down, we're going to see the future paychecks that are expected to come in. This one comes on the 10th. He has one coming on the 24th, one on May 8th. So essentially it's because we put in there that he's paid every 2 weeks. So this thing forecasts out to the next check, and then it figures out of those billers that have to be paid, it forecasts when do they need to be paid for the April stuff. And that's what this range means. So for his April paycheck, it's going to forecast any bills that are due between April 10th and April 23rd, and it plops them in here. If we go to the April 24th's paycheck, it's going to cover any bills from April 24th to May 7th. So it's kind of like the drop dead date, right? It takes into account everything that has to be paid, so that that bill is paid on or before the due date, if that makes sense. So scrolling back up here to this active posting section, let's say we are actually at the point where it's time to pay his apartments. Let's assume today's like March 30th. We're going to go ahead and pay this $900. And what we expect to happen, since he has $1,825 in the bank, is after that bill is paid, the cash on hand will be reduced to $925. So let's click Pay Bill. The screen that comes up is just kind of like a validation. Are you sure you want to pay $900? Let's click Pay Bill. Now it has come back and it's done exactly what we said. Cash on hand is now $925, and that bill has disappeared from the active posting section. If you want to make sure you paid it, you can click on this transaction history. And here it is. We paid $900, which left his balance at $925, and this was for paid on March the 3rd. Okay, I'm going to go back to the forecast. I want to show you what happens next. We're talking about moving forward in time. The next paycheck that was going to arrive would have been on April 10th. So we're going to use the roll forward now. We want to get to a point where all these bills down in here in this future paycheck section move up, because we're assuming now it's time to start looking at those bills and getting our paycheck. So let's click roll forward. And that's exactly what happened. Miraculously, everything that was in that paycheck moved into the current section. So now this bill, renter's insurance, is due on April the 10th. And he's also getting paid on April the 10th. So when we get to April the 10th, we can go ahead and as soon as we have that paycheck in the bank, we're going to click post deposit. And it's going to put that $1,200 paycheck into our active balance. So now we've got $2,125 in the bank. And when it's time to pay our renter's insurance, we're just going to click pay bill, and that $50 is going to come out. Again, it's the validation screen, gives us a chance to make sure this is what we really want to pay. There we go. Now the renter's insurance is paid. Now we've got $2,075 left in the bank. And basically we'll just continue down the line throughout the month. As these different bills are paid, you're going to pay them in advance of this due date and then click pay bill. One of the other great things about this system is there's no missing bills. It stacks them up in here in the order in which they're due. So all you got to do is look at this thing every couple of days or whenever you feel the urge, and it's going to tell you what's due next. Always. State Farm, it's due, let's pay it. And there we go. Now we've got $1,255 in the bank. And anytime you want to see what you paid and when, just go back to this transaction history. Everything you pay is here when you pay it. Okay, so again, active posting section, these are the things that are due in advance of your next check. You can always look out here in the future. This is the forecast part. The forecasts begin with the balance that you currently have at the end of the active period, right? So after we finish paying Dish Network, HelloFresh, both of them, because we got one due on the 16th, one due on the 23rd, we're gonna have $951 left. So in this first future paycheck section, it's showing we've got that $951, and then it's expecting we're gonna get the paycheck on the 24th. It plops that in there, brings the balance up to $2151, and then it just subtracts every bill right down the line. So you always know what your running balance should be after you pay that bill, right? $765.99 then rolls to the next check that you get on May 8th, and you repeat the same, right? Here's your money coming in, here's the bills going out. So it just forecasts out for your convenience like 6 or 7 paychecks. As far as when you're within one period, this column under trans amount will give you an idea on whether you have more or less cash than when you started, right? So the bills for this period total up to $1,385 if you add just the bills up. The credits for this period will just be when you get paid the $1,200. So we lost $185.01 this period. That's because we began with $951 and we ended with $765. So even though we're down for this period, when we go to the next paycheck, we're actually coming out above. We have more cash than when we started by $26. Started with $765, ended with $791. So that is essentially it in a nutshell. And I encourage you guys, if you have any questions, send me a note, comment on one of my videos. You can always reach me at John, that's Jon Rook, ROOCK, at att.net. Again, it's John Rook, JONROOCK, at att.net. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Hey guys, today's shout out goes to Grant and Spencer Hilbert. These are two farmers, relatively new to farming, but they share just a ton of stuff out there. And since they are fairly new, they started filming these videos early on, when they started purchasing land and equipment from scratch. And they have that camera with them pretty much around the clock. So you get a really good look about what goes into farming. What are some of the obstacles and challenges? They even talk about finances, that kind of thing. Not only that, but this also appeals to like the digger tractor kind of part of me, because they bought a backhoe, and you'll see them like tearing out fence tree lines and stuff like that, and digging ditches and putting new drainage pipe in, all that kind of stuff. I give them a try. I know once you have a look, you'll love their videos. Thanks.